Hey folks, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. This is in the middle of the Toby Hooper marathon because I just got back from seeing Blade Runner 2049. And before I go into spoilers, what I'll say here, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. It definitely did not give me the feeling of the Force Awakens, which was hatred and anger. This was well acted. It was beautiful visually. The score was really good. The feel and the world of Blade Runner was there. The set design, the cinematography, and the music. The director, I might not have been a fan of Arrival, and I haven't seen Sicario. Prisoners just doesn't interest me, but the director did a good job with this. He really did. If, it, Without going to spoilers yet, Harrison Ford, I'll just say his character, I think, was treated much better than Han Solo. I'll get into why I feel that way in a bit. Ryan Gosling and the whole cast did a great job. This felt like a movie, like a real, honest to goodness movie, not a. It was refreshing, I think is the word I'm looking for. And am I going to say this is my favorite film of the year? No. John Wick 2, Kong Skull Island, Kidnap with Halle Berry, those would be above it. Just because at the end of the day, the films I grew up with, the films I enjoy the most, are fun, entertaining, fast-paced, popcorn movies. I enjoy that stuff. I enjoy fast-paced action films, entertainment. But that doesn't mean I don't enjoy other films, whether it be Gravity with Sandra Bullock, whether it be 127 Hours, whether it be The Shawshank Redemption, whether it be the original Blade Runner. The original Blade Runner, the first time I saw it, I didn't really care much for it. Right, I saw the cut with the boring narration. And I saw the director's cut, really enjoyed it. And it's kind of people may ask, what do I like better? Well, the thing is with Blade Runner, I've had many years to view and rewatch Blade Runner. This is definitely a film I would like to rewatch again when it comes out on Blu-ray. Um, go back to back. I don't think this film is also a repeat of the first movie. If people say this is a remake of the first movie, I don't get what they're saying. I don't get what movie they watched. And if you don't like the film, oh well, you're not going to change my mind. Just believe me, I've had people get mad at me for hating on movies, certain films. The opposite has happened too. I've had people get mad at me for liking certain films. You liked Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2? How dare you? You thought Spider-Man Homecoming didn't suck? How dare you? So if you think Blade Runner 2049, this is a film I can see a lot of people not liking for the pacing. It's 2 hours and 44 minutes. And I think a lot of people find it slow, pretentious, and boring. I can see that, but at the same time, I did not feel that. In the fact that it's a detective story first and foremost, film noir, sci-fi detective story. And deals with what makes one human, which was the idea of the first movie. And while I do have some little nitpicks, some little stuff, if you go into this expecting an action film, the first one wasn't. They did not change that. So you would be disappointed if you thought this was more of an action movie. Hell, you could argue this has less action than the first movie. But I loved being in this world of Blade Runner, seeing on the big screen and seeing a new tale in this world of Blade Runner, in this Maybe because Blade Runner hasn't had 5, 7, 8 fucking movies. Maybe because it was just well done, well filmed, visually, music wise. I think the acting was really good. Ryan Gosling, I think it's his best role since Drive. Really do. Only God Forgives wishes it was this movie. It really does. But I gotta go into spoilers starting now. So you've been warned. Spoilers starting now. Dave Bautista has a role in the beginning of the film. He's not in it too much, but you find out how he dealt with the whole plot later on. I know there's like a little prequel story with him that you can find online. You find out very early that Ryan Gosling's character is a replicant. He's a Blade Runner and he's a replicant. And I think they put that right at the forefront just to, there's that, is Deckard a replicant? Is he not a replicant? And they thought, well, yeah, this guy is. It's many years later. So, some people talk shit about him, call him a skin job. He is brought in to take care of Bautista. They did a little bit of a struggle fight, which I liked. That was nicely done, straightforward. And it's a very slowly built movie. The film has little nods, like you see an up close of an eyeball early in the film. Edward James Olmos makes a quick appearance as his character, and he's not making a unicorn, he's making something else. There's no unicorns in this movie, for people who ask. At least none that I noticed. Pretty much Ryan Gosling's character there's little things, but they're more nods and not repeats. But yeah, Ryan Gosling is a Blade Runner, and at this point, replicants are newer models created strictly to obey. We get into his life. Him with his captain. I forget the actress's name. I thought she did a good job. She was natural in her performance. I think it's Lieutenant Joshi. Is that Robin Wright? Yeah, it was Robin Wright. The lady from The Princess Bride. I did not realize that was her. Okay. Formerly Robin Wright Penn. Yeah, she was on Forrest Gump as Jenny. She was an Unbreakable. She did a good job here. Wonder Woman. I like this a lot more than Wonder Woman, I'll tell you that. He has a girlfriend who is a hologram. And I thought as it went on, that became a little bit of a touching little story. She's a hologram, and at first she's stuck to just being on this rail on the top, that projector. He did something so that she's now in this thing that he can take with her. But it's like she loves him, but she can't do much because at one point she's trying, and then she freezes. It's raining out, and ground in the spoilers, but I'm not going to go through every single detail. But I thought that was a moment that worked. Just the look of the world, how the director did it, felt very much in tone of the first movie. But at the same time, it didn't replicate because you did a bit more colors, while the first film is probably a bit more muted colors. This one you get much more colors of the neon, but you also get a sense of more pollution and just so many beautiful shots. Like this one location where Ryan Gosling is looking at some records, and some guy shows him, and you have this wide shot, and they're just this tall, going through these almost brownish, golden brownish hallway after hallway after hallway, and you see like this light, almost as if something's opened up over here that we can't see. And I'm doing a shitty job describing it, but it's just picture's worth 1,000 words, I guess. The direction of the story was interesting, where at Dave Bautista's place they find something buried, and it's a body, bones, and you find out it's the bones of Rachel, Sean Young's character in the first movie, and that her character was pregnant. She gave birth. And there's cause for alarm because, well, wait a minute, if a replicant can reproduce, that's dangerous because then you can't keep ties on them, and 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8. Who knows what else? Or 2 becomes 3, and then, okay, that math didn't work exactly, but you have, 2 couples, and if they have 2 kids, and then who knows what happens next. They can multiply, and pretty much Ryan Gosling's looking into this. What is going on here? What is up with this? How could it happen? How could a replicant have a child? And they really show detective work, and I found it interesting. When you get a good old-fashioned detective story done well, for example, I like Brick with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, which is like a detective story amidst a high school. When that's done well, with the character looking at these clues and seeing, oh, this guy knows what he's doing, he's a good detective. That's interesting to me. You saw a little bit in the first movie when Harrison Ford's looking at these things, he's like pushing, and he sees, I think it was like a reflection on a mirror or something of that nature. Or so I think that's cool. A film noir detective sci-fi movie like the first movie. And like I said, if you don't do this for action, you're not going to get much action. You get a little fight with him and Bautista. It's a little one. You get a time when his car gets shot down. These guys come in the woodwork. And I thought this was a good scene, though, because these guys get killed from the sky and just blown up. And Ryan Gosling doesn't know what's going on. Cut to the scene. Who was she? She was a real bitch, and I mean that in a positive, because I really grew to hate this character, but hate in the fact that it's supposed to be. Um, Love Sylvia Hoeks. Man, she in that scene, she has these just sunglasses, and she's telling by these sunglasses this computer up there, hit that guy, kill that guy, kill that guy, while she's getting her nails done. Like, that's how cold this bitch is. But at the same time, like, sometimes she's crying. So it's like, maybe she's doing this because she has to. But at the same time, we definitely are easy to hate this character. She is a villain. And Ryan Gosling does take care of her at the end. Vows her as. But she's definitely a villain. I just wanted to... You wanted to hate this character for good reason. But yeah, I mean, the reason I said I think the first film has more action is that, like, as a Blade Runner, he does kill some more replicants than this Blade Runner does. I mean, other than Dave Bautista and then the girl at the end. I mean, he takes down like 2 cars at the end, and that scene I was talking about, he like wounds some people. I mean, that's really much it. So if you don't want him for fight scenes or action, like the first one, you had the chase scene at the end. You had I guess you had the fight with him and the lead girl at the end of this one. But I guess what I'm just saying is I I I just see a lot of people not liking this because there's not enough action. Well, you know what? I understand. I would not have minded more action either. Hell, I love action, but just saying that's not what the first one was either. I can understand it either. It's not like it was a shock. But just a lot of interesting scenes. Jared Leto, he's sort of, in a way, he's sort of the new Tyrell. And he's definitely, I thought he did a good job. And he's definitely another guy that has these funky eyes. Definitely another guy, easy to hate, villain wise. There's like, makes this replicant and then tells about how he wants to find what this child was because he wants his replicants to replicate amongst themselves. Just he even goes, well, I can't make them all myself. Can't build them all myself. And the thing with the movie is it's a great story about a guy who finds a purpose in life and in a way gains a soul. Which I know that was sort of the deal with Roger Hauer's character, but at the same time, this one, I think the idea worked a bit better in the fact that, this is our hero, our lead. And hell, at one point, like Ryan Gosling does a good job. At one point, he thinks this memory of his was implanted, and then he finds out it was a real memory. And so then, for a while, you're thinking, okay, maybe he's the child, he's the son of Harrison Ford, and then you find out no, there was a girl. It was a girl, and so it's like, wow, I was born, and then you find out, oh no, I wasn't born, but then you know what? I'm still going to help Deckard because it gives me a sense of purpose in life. That's what makes us human. And Harrison Ford, he shows up, I would say, in the third act of the film. It's not tons of screen time with him, but the reason I said they did his character justice is the stuff between him and Ryan Gosling. You have this nice little chase in the place Harrison Ford lives at, where it has like these holograms of Frank Sinatra and Elvis and Marilyn Monroe, and the way how they're like not quite working, and like there's no sound, or I should say no music, and then it's flickering, and here's a here's Forrest punching the shit out of Ryan Gosling, and he goes, okay, we keep doing this, let's have a drink. And find out that him and Rachel, the reason he left is because they were hunting us, and they, if I was around, I would put them in danger. Bad guys come, he gets caught. Harrison Ford has a nice scene with Jared Leto, kind of hints at the fact that, well, you know what, maybe she didn't really love you, Rachel. Maybe those were implanted her, and you were brought there way back when just to fall in love with her and get her pregnant, and love wasn't real. And then entices her with a new Sean Yun. And the way they did the new Sean Yun, it looked like Sean Yun from 1982. From what I understand, it was another actress, and in CG, it looked real. Like really looked like Sean Yun from 1982. And then Harrison Ford, do you think he's going to go with her? And then he goes, no, she had green eyes. And then turns away. And then Jared Leto just has the one bitch shoot that Sean Yun clone. And there's nice emotion on Harrison Ford's face. And they're going to take him back, and then Ryan Gosling saves him and fucks up that bitch. Brings Harrison Ford back to where his, you should go meet your daughter. I'm not quite sure how Ryan Gosling knew that girl was the daughter, but I will say this is a character we met earlier, and I liked this character. But then when I got to the end, I'm like, oh shit, that's the daughter? I will admit, the movie got me. I did not see that coming. I did not see that coming. So I actually thought I thought it was two choices. And I know this is confusing for those who haven't seen the film, but if you've seen the film, you'll understand what I mean. I thought it was going to be the hooker, or before she died, I thought it was going to be the woman that's with the villain, Jared Leto. And then I'm like, okay, it's probably not her. It's probably going to be the hooker. And then it's like, oh, it's that girl. And I'm like, okay, well that's actually works out best. And there's the last shot of the movie is Harrison Ford touching the glass and he's about ready to tell her, you know, hey, I'm your dad. And this is a girl that before we had seen, because Ryan Gosling had gone up to her to get some info about memories. And this is a girl who's apparently she's stuck in this one room because something about her immune system, but she has this device and she can just create all these holograms of anything she wants with this dial. Looks like stuff that you would see on a camera, like a camera shoot for movies in the focus, like a bunch of them. You just do like this. I thought that was an interesting idea. The thing with the glasses that shoots down the people was an interesting idea. And some of the other stuff, I thought it had some nice, neat sci-fi ideas in it. They're visually well done. And she seemed like a sweet person. And that's what I mean with the Deckard characters. That I wish she could have done more physically. Maybe they felt, well, Harrison Ford's so old. He does, punch Ryan Gosling. And then there's a moment where these guys are trying to take Harrison Ford. He does punch a couple of them. But I just feel, well, he's pretty old. Well, I would like to at least kill one guy, which I'll get to. But they don't kill him off like fucking Force Awakens. And the final shot, because I honestly don't think this film will do that well. And even if it did, they're not going to do another one anytime soon because it'd be too much of a gamble. I don't think they will. So, with the ending of the original movie, if you saw the actual ending where it's him and Rachel escaping, this is a much nicer, touching, emotional scene for a last shot. I'm like, okay, Deckard's going to be okay. The other bad guys think he's dead, that he drowned. He's with his daughter. That was touching. That's a nice way to deal with the character. Not kill him by an emo fucking son named Kylo Ren and then disappear into CGI. No Luke there. No Leia there. Just two strangers that you just met a day ago and Chewie. So, by you emo bitch son, who has like a big nose that he's ready to fuck himself with. It's like the son of Max Landis. So that did it bad in my opinion. This I thought did that well. And Ron Gosling's character, he beats the bad guy, the bad girl. He's wounded. I like this more than Logan. Like Logan has more action, but the way the finale was done, I don't know. This was more satisfying to me because he was able to succeed and getting Harrison Ford back to his daughter. He killed the bitch himself, and he lays down, has a snow touch on his face, sort of smiles, and he was a replicant, but he lived a life, and he's able to feel. In a way, he gained a soul, and the music touch was nice because it was the same music that Roger Hauer had when he dies. The same piece of music. Thought that was really nice. Uh, it was a movie that I thought had, in a weird way, a good soul to it. And yeah, it did take its time, but I love being in the environment. I love being in the world. I love sort of getting into this mystery detective story and Ryan Gosling. And this is a character, like some people say it has no character development. What are you talking about? Ryan Gosling's character, he's just, I gotta do my job. Then he thinks he was born, and he thinks he's the son. And then he's like, this memory he thought was fake, it was real. And he has this moment where he just screams in rage. But I didn't think it was laughable. And that's when he meets the girl stuck in the room. And I liked her reaction too, where she looks at his memory and she's like, this is a real memory. This is not a fake one. And then when he realizes it's a real memory, but it's not his real memory, it's another person's real memory, a girl. Which then, now that I think about it, maybe that makes sense why she knew that was a real memory. I mean, I know there's other reasons, but why she had the reaction, because really she was looking at her memory. So she knew that was real. So in retrospect, that does make sense. I do you credit, movie. I do you credit for that. Uh, but what the hell? Where the hell I was going with that? Oh yeah, he had the emotional scene, and then he finds out it's not his. He wasn't born. He was just a replicant, another replicant, and someone else's real implant was put in him. And goes at what's real, what's not. And then also another thing, when Harrison Ford's character is taken, remember that hologram who is his love interest and is now part of this box that he's got to keep track. Before we go into it, also there's a sort of a weird love thing, kind of interesting, where the hologram pays for a hooker, and she comes so that the hologram can put herself over the hooker's body, so that her and Ryan Gosling can do something. It doesn't go further than that, but just the idea was interesting. Well, okay, I didn't see that coming, so to speak. And that one bitch I'm talking about, Love, aka Sylvia Hoeks, the hologram tells her, "Stop! Don't hurt him anymore! Don't hurt him anymore! Don't hurt Ryan Gosling's character! Don't hurt him anymore!" And she just doesn't give a shit, just steps on it. But Ryan Gosling does get his revenge. I mean, some nitpicks. Jared Leto's character, see, because we find out Jared Leto and then this other woman who the hooker was working with, they both sort of want the same thing, but for different reasons, I guess. They both want to find this girl because they want to replicate replicants and take over humans. But like Jared Leto's character, like he's built up a little bit and then he gets no comeuppance, kind of just disappears. Granted, maybe that's because that's not what the movie was about. I get that, but that's what I mean. I think it would have been cool if if Harrison Ford, like before they get to the last shot, Ryan Gosling got Harrison Ford shot one replicant. I would have had Harrison Ford shoot one replicant with that gun, and it'd be Jared Leto right in the eye, right in the face. You shoot the clone Cheyenne, I shoot you in the face. That's one thing I would have added in there. So I wanted Harrison Ford to at least shoot one replicant. I'm sad he didn't get to do that. And I do wish Harrison Ford was in it a bit more, a bit earlier. I do wish that had a little bit more physical activity to do. I mean, if I don't know, he did get injured on the Force Awakens, so maybe that's why too. But still, I would have liked to have done a little bit more stuff. He does a teeny bit of physical, but I would like to have seen him in more of the film. That's the second thing. Again, this is a stupid nitpick, but I would love to have heard that main Vangelis theme, that ba 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 ba, which I know maybe they didn't want to do that because it'd be a repeat, but I did wish one scene to just hear that piece of music full blown, just to hear that in the theater, or even if it was just the end credits. I don't know. I did stick around for the entire end credits, but I like the and yeah, it could have used a bit more action because I think the running time is going to be a stickler for people. I think there's going to be quite a few people who don't like it for its pacing and they just don't find it pretentious and boring. But I did. Oh, and since we have a top five, the fifth one be they never really go into whether Deckard was a human or a replicant. I guess they just said fuck it. There are people who like both, so let him be cake. Let him have both. You can watch this film and he's a human. You can watch this film and he's a replicant. Harrison Ford's character. It doesn't really give you an answer either way. Maybe that's for the best because if you give one answer, it pisses someone off. My answer, I he's a human. I prefer it that way, but some people prefer the other way. So I don't know. But yeah, they don't really go into that in the film. Sorry, I'm just trying to think. Yeah, maybe it did. Maybe for the better. But overall, while I do have a few nitpicks, a few little things, uh, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for its visual. I think it's a visually satisfying movie. It's a beautiful movie. I think the score fits the film very well. And the movie kept me interested to see what was going to happen next, the mystery and detective wise. Ryan Gosling's journey as a character. Sad that his character died, but I thought this was a noble death. Hell, I liked it more than Logan. Like Logan has more action. Don't get me wrong, but I was I left more smiling after this movie. I got a bit into the story more. Maybe that's why. Harrison Ford, he's only in yeah the third act of the movie. I wish he could have at least killed one replicant. Like Jared Leto, he disappears, but at least with his character, they don't ruin him. They don't ruin and stain it like Han Solo. He went nowhere and he got his ass kicked by an emo kid. Fuck Force Awakens. And this one is its own movie, in my opinion. And this is one of those movies that I want to give another watch when it comes out on Blu-ray to pick up stuff that I didn't catch. Because remember the first time I saw Blade Runner, again with that shitty narration, I didn't quite get all the stuff. This guy says it best. It's a quiet, thoughtful science fiction. It's not saying anything new. If you don't expect anything new, I'm sorry to burst your bubble. That barely happens anymore. But just because it's nothing new doesn't mean it's not worthwhile. And yeah, maybe it's just refreshing with all the bad popcorn movies we did, like Alien Covenant by Ridley Scott, Transformers movies, Resident Evil fucking movies, Triple X Return of Xander Page. Page is gonna page me so I can get the fuck out so I don't have to see this movie again. All these fucking Pacific Rim job, which I brought that up because they had the trailer to that and it fucking looked like shit with the fucking shitty song in it. Pacific Rim job, Uprising, Updicking. God, I definitely don't want to see that movie. I'm like, Jesus, fuck. Pacific Rim Job 2. Like, all the trailers made me realize why this was more refreshing. A fucking shitty Lara Croft movie, looks like it. Shitty looking Pacific Rim Job 2. What was the other fucking movie? Oh, some Winston Churchill movie with Gary Oldman. The Commuter, which looks like a more boring version of Nonstop with Liam Neeson. Uh, Comes out in January. This, in a way, this isn't a review. I guess it's sort of first impressions, but I guess I'll label it review for the fuck of it. This is a movie I want to see again, really take in on home video on Blu-ray, and watch it right at like double feature with the first movie and take in, because I'm sure there are certain nuances and other themes that I didn't catch the first time. Because I was just marveling, wow, this doesn't suck. Oh my god, this doesn't suck. Holy shit. Holy shit. A sequel that doesn't suck. Wow, it's fucking fantastical. It's rare nowadays. So maybe that's why. But it was, yeah, a nice story about a guy who may be a machine, but he found his soul. He found a purpose. He died. He lived a replicant, but he died a man, so to speak. And another guy who, I watched the director's cut, so it's the ending where it's like, oh shit, where are they going? Deckard is at least, while he didn't get to do a lot physically, unfortunately, at least his terror's at a sweet place, which, considering how many sequels take characters and kill them off, I mean, hell, Independence Day 2, let's kill off Will Smith's character off screen. Let's kill Bill Pullman's character on screen, and it meant fucking nothing. Here, I'm like, okay, that was a nice little sweet thing. Still wish I heard that one Vangelis piece of music, but maybe they thought that'd be too on the nose. But yeah, again, nice that it wasn't just a repeat of the first movie. It's slow, it's quiet. Well, there's some musical and noise that's like really loud, but like, okay, I did see that from the first movie, but not exactly, but it fits with this world. But there's a lot of quiet scenes and vast landscapes and scenes where the camera, it's not all the way up here, it's way back. And it sounds stupid. It felt like a movie that would have been made in 1989. You know, it felt like, and in a weird way, it felt like an old school movie. It's calm, it's quiet, except for this stuff. And it just, I it made me think of certain things in it. Well, again, I mean, I would like Jared Leto's character. I don't like that he disappears. Then Harrison Ford, I wish he had more to do. Solve two birds with one stone. Let Harrison Ford shoot the motherfucker in the face. Uh, Give me one piece of music that I wanted to hear in the bid screen. Uh, but those are like little nitpicks. The acting's great. The directing's very well done. The visuals are beautiful. The music fits the film very well. The mystery kept me interested in what was going on. It really felt like the world of Blade Runner. And I guess at the end of the day, there's been so many Terminators. There's been so many Alien films. There's been so many fucking Transformer movies. There's only been a second Blade Runner movie. And it was great to be in that world again. And in a film that was just for adults. And when I mean adults, it was made you think a little. Nothing new, nothing groundbreaking, nothing, oh my god, I've never seen this before. No, I just thought it was pretty damn well done. So I'll leave it at that. So thanks for watching, take care, and see you later. Bye bye.